Shy one.
Where?
Everybody know me. I'm the shy one.
Who know
Don't
you?
play yourself.
Who lied?
I'm the shy, quiet one.
Who said that?
Everybody who know me know that. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Theodore Campbell. A lot of people call me Teddy. This is my friend Bianca. So we starting our new podcast. It's called Unadulterated. So we figured we always hear a lot of podcasts and everything that's on the internet, and we figured we always hear the perspective of celebrities and all that stuff, but they can't speak for us. We're just regular everyday people. We want to express our unadulterated version of our truth about anything that's going on in the world, what's going on in the church, or anything. It's just regular life. So
ultimately, we want to, bring some light to some dark places that, have been covered up for a long time, and just to kind of build ourselves and grow. That's what life is all about, because if we stop growing, then we stop living. And so we want to always be growing. And so we're thinking if we share our conversations, that maybe it will enlighten you guys, or hopefully it will, and that you guys can take from it. And I don't know what. Help me out.
Well, it's our first time, so
yeah.
don't hold us to it. But like I
just
said,
take from it. It's fun, and still some wisdom in there too, we hope.
Me and Bianca, we have conversations all the time about life, and we feel, at least we feel, I hope we're not wrong, that we have some deep conversations and we have some pretty good opinions about stuff that happens in life. So we felt like it would be a great idea to share with the world. I don't know how many people would see these videos, but
whoever's interested, to tune in and see, what you can take from it, like we said.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can just get started if you want to. We were talking earlier about, what was the topic, Teddy?
Well, actually, this is the crazy part. This is actually your topic, and then I kind of put a twist on it. So the topic is actually, if you had the opportunity to meet yourself, would you like you?
Right.
And that sounds kind of weird the way it sounds, but if you really think about it, it's really a deep question. Well, it's not really a deep question, but it's a question where you got to kind of take yourself back.
Deep, though, because, on the outside, I may present a good picture and, oh, yeah, I would like me. I think I look okay. And I present well. I put on a good face at work, or, with people that I meet out, just strangers or whatever. But when I'm at home and I'm alone, do I really like who I am and who God created me to be? Or, is it's just a bunch of fluff? And also, like, how are you treating other people, and how do you do you show any love to other people? I mean, what do you do? Like, do you like yourself?
That's a good question, because I mean, that's where you have to take like self-reflection for a minute, because it's like, of course, I don't think nobody actually sits there and think that they're a bad person, but I think we all have areas of our life where things could be better. You could treat other people better, but if you was real enough with yourself to take a step back and say, man, you know what? That the way I handle that ain't too great,
No, I think that takes some humility, because, like, typically and generally speaking, we're not gonna just automatically, admit that what we're doing or how we're treating people or what we said or, what's incorrect. A lot of times we want to be on the right side of things, and so we don't necessarily admit our wrongs. We just don't. But,
exactly.
We can't talk about ourselves, I don't think, without talking about God.
Absolutely.
Now, when we have a relationship with God, He does change us. Everything changes. And it is gradually over time, but He changes us from the inside out. And so then that's where the humility, to me, comes into place. And if you don't have that humility or even love in your heart, then maybe you should check your walk with Christ, I think. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people say what they say. They
What
say
they say? You tell me.
they say they're Christian. They say they love God, all this
Uh-huh.
extra, and then just
Uh-huh.
really nasty people. And not just them. I've been there and I've been that, because we're all human.
Well, I would say, and this is what I'm learning, that just because a person is a nasty person doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It's like we at different areas of our life, and it's like maybe they love God, maybe they've taken that step to say that they want to be in a spot where they want to be a Christian or get to know God, but they just haven't grown yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of us don't give like that mercy to people to have that area to grow.
Very true. But if I'm on the receiving end of the nastiness, how much grace can I give to that when I'm hurt by what the person said or did?
Mm,
So it should always be that effort, you, me, whoever striving to not display that. You know what I'm saying? Just allowing God to do the work in you. Because he's the only one that can change your heart, is what I think. But you have to submit to him. I mean, I can say that I'm a
mm,
Christian or I'm a believer or, oh, I follow God. But if I haven't surrendered my will or surrendered myself to him, then nothing's changing. What did they say? Nothing changes if nothing changes. That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
that's true. You gotta be real with yourself. That's where you gotta take the real time to really sit back and say, can I really look at myself and be honest with myself, not just
Yeah.
trying to pat myself on the back, but like, okay, am I really doing what I'm supposed to do, or
Mm-hmm.
take that moment to be honest?
Yeah, and just taking us back to the original question about would you like to sell? And I think like this year, especially, it's really calling for us to like sit with ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and weed out all of the mess. Take out all the
Absolutely.
mess. And we've had some time to sit aside and really evaluate. Man, I didn't know I was like this, or I didn't know all of this was going on in me. And it took these situations in this year to happen to really, I guess, take root or to say, hey, look in the mirror. You know,
Exactly.
I mean, I would never think that it would take that. I thought I already looked in the mirror, but we
Mm-hmm.
gotta look a little deeper, like you said. I mean, so with that said, I think with the situations that have happened, I know many, it's been really unfortunate, people dying and so much craziness going on, but I can be like forever grateful for the opportunity to sit with
Mm-hmm.
myself
Exactly.
and learn from, past hurts maybe and things that have taken root, learn from those things and be able to display who God really is to me, to others. And
That's true.
we are created in his image, so what God is love, so we should be a picture of love as well. And one thing about it, I always I know I'm talking a lot, but I wanted to just talk about you because I was telling you the other day of how you've held me accountable, and that's a part of what love is. Because if you have a friend and you see them failing, or you see them not being their best selves, or oh, you understand their potential, then you should hold them accountable to that, even
Mm-hmm.
though you may receive I might be like, man, forget you, I ain't doing that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you may get that backlash, but you never really held back on that. You never. And I was like, I mean, I don't like it all the time, but that's what's needed, especially like today.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need somebody to make us say,
Exactly.
gotta
Yeah.
put our feet to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You 100% right, because I ain't gonna go too deep in it, but we know of a situation where a person, you try to help them and it's like they can't receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's not that they're a bad person, it's just like, okay, everything ain't criticism. I'm supposed to be your people's, I'm supposed to be
Or
your
it's
friend.
constructive, right?
Exactly. So if I see an area of your life and it's, you can't take it as, you can't have that victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
See, if
Because
you
that's
have
just
that
gonna make me stay where I'm at, right?
exactly, if you got that victim mentality, you're gonna always look at everything that somebody says at you as an attack and as an attack. I'm not trying to attack you. If I'm really your friend or I'm really the person in your life that really cares about you, I'm telling you about an area that I see that I'm like, look, homeboy, I'm not saying that I'm better than you, but yo, what you just did the other day, that wasn't cool. Or what you said to this person, that wasn't cool. You need to take a step back. But if you live a life full of pride, or you think that you know everything, then you're gonna have a problem.
So do
You're
you
gonna
think that pride is like the opposite of humility?
absolutely, absolutely.
Obviously, right? Yeah, so that pride, man, what is it's pride comes before destruction? Or
Pride is
comes before
dangerous.
the fall, is that what it says? And, we don't have all the words, but you understand it's very dangerous because if you allow that to drive your life, I mean, I'm telling you, you're gonna remain stagnant. You ain't
Exactly.
going nowhere. You think you're going somewhere, but everybody's looking at you like, why is she allowed to act like that? What y'all let her act like treat y'all like that?
And you
No,
saying it all nice. I'm gonna say it the real way. We sitting there high like, what's wrong with this dude? Like you
well,
tripping
some
right
people
now.
don't say it, but other people just, again, about that love and that accountability. Other people just stand back, afraid of being rejected or afraid of the backlash that's gonna come with somebody correcting you. I mean,
Exactly.
I want you to correct me because if you see me doing something wrong, I need you to help me before I go I guess spiral downward. Like I don't want to spiral out of control. No, don't
Exactly.
aid me in my mess, please.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But people want to aid, like you said, that situation where,
Hmm.
the person just didn't want to accept, you know, I guess the concerns that were presented. Like,
Exactly.
and then where? Then those people, you just kind of have to shake them off your feet because, some things we can't put our energy into too much because it could be draining. But ultimately, I know, like I said, someone like me and you, it would be great if we could just have that space to correct each other,
Hmm.
in love,
Yeah. Yeah.
with hopes that this person is going to grow. And it's just reciprocated back and forth that we can continue to elevate each other. And that's what it's about to me. That's the type of relationships I want, friendships that I would like to have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, I wanted to add something to what you said. You kind of was talking about what we dealing with right now as far as like the pandemic. I mean, that's an easy way to do it because you kind of have no choice
Mm-hmm.
because pretty much the world is shut down to some degree and you're kind of forced to be in the house
Excuse me.
for a little while. Bless you.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take a scenario where the pandemic has nothing to do with it. Let's talk about regular life situations like when you have a relationship and you get out of a relationship and you have the choice to jump into another relationship. See that's see that's see that's where you as an adult have a
What?
choice. Yeah, that's where you as an adult have a choice to say, okay, do I don't jump into another relationship or do I allow myself the time to grow
Well,
and to learn myself?
what if I feel like I already grew? It wasn't me, it was them. Like, I mean, I can keep it moving, right?
I
I'm
mean, you
saying
can feel that way.
sometimes that's the mentality, and other times it's that you don't want to be alone with yourself. You're afraid to sit with yourself. You're afraid to say,
That's the
okay,
problem.
this is what broke right here, and it
Mm,
could have very well been me.
mhm.
So yeah, people don't want to sit with that. So
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
course, jump into another relationship. By all means, why not?
I mean,
I'm not
and just
saying to do that. I'm just being
is
sarcastic.
that yeah hypothetical,
Yeah.
but if I could speak from my own experience for the people that's watching this, who anybody that's watching this, I mean, I've been single for a while, and I've learned so much from myself
Mm.
about myself, should I say? I mean, just the fact that I'm on this video right now is from me being single and growing. Because for years, I never thought I was a talking person. I
And
always,
I
you
think
know,
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna cut you cuts right here. Like
okay,
you
cut.
have this is a whole nother person. It's weird to me. Like I don't even know. Like you were kind of hesitant to talk before, just not really for whatever your reasons are, you can speak on that, but you can tell,
Exactly.
when somebody has taken some time, to just grow with themselves and learn themselves and get comfortable with themselves and then ultimately begin to like themselves. You like yourself?
Do what? Oh, that's my question. You put me on the spot now. Do I like myself?
Do you like yourself?
I say overall, of course, I like myself, but I think just like anybody else, there's I would say you're your biggest critic. So I critique myself all the time.
Do you
Like
think
even
you have to like yourself to love yourself?
that's a good question.
Because I heard people
Um,
say like, I don't like you, but I love you. Like,
mhm.
I don't know. Tell me.
I mean, I love me, but again, there's things about me that I don't like. I just critique
That's
myself.
what life is right there. You know,
Okay.
loving me, I love myself, but I know there are many things that I don't like, and that I know that God didn't put in me, and
Hmm.
that I need to rid myself of. You know,
Exactly.
that's us as human and being imperfect. You know,
Exactly.
that's just what it's going to be. You know, I'm super maybe impatient sometimes, critical,
Hmm.
um, very critical, you know, and just
Yeah.
different stuff. And then of like you said, about ourselves first, and then others as well. And so these are things, you know, that aren't necessarily good characteristics to have, you know, because they don't allow you to function in love. Because love is patient, you know, it's not
Hmm.
impatient. And
Yeah.
then being critical, you know, love keeps no records of wrongs. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's the opposite, and this is something about life where we continue to grow and continue to, you know, strive towards excellence. Still loving who we are right here, but still striving to do better and be better, you know.
I feel that's true. But again, that's where maturity comes in because it's like you got to take that time to say where I'm willing to analyze those things. You know, take a time out to even see yourself. Like even what I said about the relationship thing. If let's say you was in a relationship and somebody didn't treat you so well, okay, all right, they might have been the person that did most of the drama, but if you jump into the next relationship so quick, the first thing you're gonna say is, okay, that relationship ended because of what they did to me, which has some level of truth to it. But because you jumped so quick, you wasn't able to take a time to sit back to see what you did wrong. Just because they did most of the wrong doesn't mean you didn't do no wrong at all. But if you take the time to sit back, I feel like God will show you the parts that you did wrong. Because I know in my walk with God, when you talk to God, God don't talk to you about somebody else.
Right.
You'll sit there and you'll be like, okay, so and so did this to me. They said that this to me, but God will answer back like, what? Well,
Yeah.
okay, you didn't respond right. And
Um,
you say that like, God, I didn't say that to you. I was trying to tell you
and
that
telling
he
on,
or
I'm
she
telling
said this
on
to
so and
me.
so, I'm telling on Teddy, he was straight disrespectful. But then, like,
Exactly.
I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you can point that out in another person, then it's something that's in you too. And so I'll
Exactly.
tell you an example of how I was so like, oh, I'm all right. I thought I was sitting and I was upset with a person. And
Exactly.
I'm gonna write this list. Or no, I didn't even say I was gonna write the list. I feel like God was telling me to write this list of things to pray for this person for. But in a prideful type of way, I got the paper and pencil, wrote a long list, okay,
Mhm.
about let me see. I don't have a paper, but it was a long list about the person. And as soon as I finished with that pencil and paper, God said, now pray for all those things for yourself. And so I went to look over all the list, and every single thing is something that I had an issue with myself. So it's like, oh my gosh, are we so good at pointing the finger at other people without looking at ourselves?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm glad to not be so much in that place, you know, now
Exactly.
where I can understand that focus on growing yourself, focus
Mhm.
on loving yourself. And I believe that the love that you exemplify, you will get it back. I believe that you
Mhm.
can't just give out drama. Of course, that's what you're going to get back, or you can't be a shifty person, that's what you're gonna get back. It may not be
Exactly.
immediate, but it's coming back to you because you reap what you sow. So you
I'm
can
gonna give
sow in love or you can sow in hate, whichever one you want.
I'm gonna give you an example real quick. For anybody who's watching this and think that it don't make no sense, I'm gonna tell you it makes so much sense that even the world uses God's system. Because if you go to court, first of all, they let you plead your case.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you one thing for anybody who's watching this, if you're going to court, I'm not trying to give you clues. The first thing that the judge and all the people are watching, they're trying to watch you and your character to see how much you talk about somebody else. If you tell your story and your story is nothing but he did this, she did this, he did this, she did this, he did this, she did this, over and over and over, God, and they don't never hear no fault in you, that already gives them a clear idea of what type of person you are and what your character is.
Yeah.
Because you're already a no fault person. So
Yeah, and again, that was like me kind of being in God's courtroom writing all these complaints, and it was nothing about me, all about
exactly.
the person, and then everything. It was like, so he really checked me, like, pray for yourself for all those things, and that's what I love about God, though. He don't really leave you out there to just be lost.
Exactly.
He'll help you if you would listen.
Exactly.
He helps. Yeah, so that's a big question.
Mm-hmm.
What they say loaded, I think it is, because you would be able to say that maybe you like your outer appearance, or
Mm-hmm.
even maybe you like your inner appearance and haven't embraced your outer appearance. That's
Yeah,
another thing that we haven't even touched on.
that's a good point. That's a very good point. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm not trying to piss nobody off, but I am a male, as you see, and I've dated, and I'm gonna tell y'all, as far as the women that I dated, as far as the most attractive women that I've ever been with, they've been the most insecure inside. So even though they might be able to look themselves in the mirror and think they look good, and you may think they look good too, but inside something ain't right.
So are you saying, like, a lot of times, well, again, that's a human factor, that either it's like an inside, something maybe like an inwardly or something outwardly, like somewhere you're having this self,
Everybody
yeah,
everybody has their fight, and
yeah,
it's always different.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know, like, either way, it's a struggle to be
mm-hmm.
able to embrace yourself. It is, and
Absolutely.
I think just I can't leave out that just being a parent, it's important that we take time to sit with ourselves too, so that we can show our children how to love themselves. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah.
We don't want them to keep on repeating this cycle. And I heard somebody
Mm-hmm.
the other day, I can't remember who it was, but they were saying, like, we are the generation to, like I was telling you about, correcting past hurts, and
Yeah.
just breaking the cycles, those generational cycles of really self hate. That's what it is. You don't love
Yeah.
yourself. You don't love yourself. So I don't want to demonstrate anything like that to my children.
Absolutely.
Have I at one point? I mean, probably, likely,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
I make a concerted effort not to, or to demonstrate love for myself and care for myself to them, so they can see how to care for themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you put me on the spot. Now I'm ask you: do you like yourself if you was able to see yourself?
Do I like myself today?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I like myself.
Okay.
Um, I mean, is there some things that need to be corrected? Yeah, I keep telling you. But yeah, I like myself. I love myself. Have I always? No.
Mm-hmm.
Have I always this year? No.
Mm-hmm.
No. No, no, no. Um, but it does feel good to be in a place of, like, loving yourself and actually liking yourself. That's a good feeling, because otherwise, if you don't, like, you're continuously cycling these negative thoughts about yourself, And it's like you don't even know that you're thinking these things about yourself. That's how much you think it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you get in the mirror, oh, I'm fat. Oh, I need this, all this. You know, who knows what you're saying to yourself, but it's like subconsciously you're doing it without even thinking. So I think that it is important to kind of combat those. If that's something that you've been thinking, or anybody you know has been thinking, that it's important to combat those thoughts with something loving towards yourself, because that's how God embraces us. Like He's so merciful and gentle with us. Like He don't just be like, "Oh, you ugly.
Yeah,
Your heart is filthy." Like He ain't condemning you like that. He's like welcoming you with open arms and just gently walking you through um, becoming, like I said, a better person, or even a light for other people. That's what He does. He's not gonna beat you over your head with all of this abusive language that we give ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I
It's
got you.
abusive. It is. And I don't know if it's from somebody else saying it to you, but a lot
Hmm.
of times you just do it yourself.
You know how the devil work. He always in your head preaching something to you, trying to make you feel a certain type of way.
Yeah, but
So,
he probably only has to say it a couple times and you pick it up like it's your own language. That's why,
exactly.
it always, the Bible talks about life and death being in the power of the tongue. It's
Hmm.
what you're speaking towards yourself. Like you have the
Yeah,
power to change your life, your outlook on life. You can change it because He gave us the power to do so.
absolutely, definitely.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, this video ain't about relationships, but I'm gonna just take it there. So, wouldn't you say that it's safe to say that you should take a moment to look yourself in the mirror and say, "Do I like myself?" before you even try to like somebody else?
I mean, if that was me years ago, that's what
Hmm.
I would encourage. So today, you mean in between relationships or before you delve into a relationship period?
Yeah, before you like, how are you gonna like somebody else if you don't like yourself?
Okay, the first importance is, I mean, yeah, they would think, or people would say, well, who are you to tell me? Well, I can tell you because I've been there.
Hmm.
So, firstly, I think if it was me talking to a younger me, it would be that you don't need to get into any relationship. You need to come to know yourself. And
Yeah,
when you know yourself, that's how you would embrace yourself and love yourself. And
yeah,
then, evolving, growing, we get into a relationship, you're not gonna stay the same. You're gonna get different. So yeah, we gotta take those breaks. It's like a checkpoint.
yeah, yeah.
Like you gotta stop and get and you in certain cities you have to get the emissions test. I mean, I know here you do. You gotta check your engine, you know,
Hmm.
because some relationships can be damaging,
Absolutely.
you know, and that's where you gotta reevaluate and say, oh, did that uplift me or did it bring me down? And how do I get back, or how do I get better? How do I get
Mhm.
back to like I was, and how do I become better? That's a whole nother process. Like you brought that up, but that's a whole big process.
It's
That.
a big process, but it starts with you first. Because I mean, if you don't never cross that road with yourself, and I say we see this all the time, and I'm guilty of it too. It's like you ready to jump into that next process that you talking about, but you ain't do the first process yet. You ain't never been cool with yourself. So how you gonna be cool with other people?
So, are you ready to jump into it because it's comfortable to be with another person, or it's uncomfortable to face yourself? I'm trying to think the different reasons why you'll be ready to jump to, or your flesh. You want that relationship for your flesh. You got to get those needs met.
I
What's
think
the reason that people? I think it's more emotional than anything fleshly, that people continue to jump into this relationship and that relationship. Now, yeah, those other things come along with it, but I think it's an emotion. It's emotionally driven.
I think people do it because you have a void inside and you looking for something to fulfill that void, and you trying to put that burden on somebody else to fill that void, but they can't, because that's not their assignment to fill your void. I mean, a relationship
Whose
is supposed to
assignment
be,
is it to fill your void?
huh?
Whose assignment is it to fill your void?
We know who that is. That's Jesus.
Yeah. Looking to this person to be everything that only God can be. No,
Exactly.
like I need you. I'm gonna get in a relationship because I need this man to pay my bills or something crazy. God is my provider.
I mean, yeah, he'll pay the bills, but he smack you all over the place. Like,
God is my provider. I don't need the man for that because God has provided for me. That's the conversation you should have with yourself before you
exactly.
get into something because of a so-called need, whether it be emotional or something material. It,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't even allowed God to provide for you right there, like
Exactly.
outside of this person.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I don't know. It's something to think about because I'm just trying to figure out. Um, I don't know, like where did that mindset come from that you need, you know what I mean? Another individual to complete you or to be whole.
I mean, it sounds like we going off subject, but we really not. It really goes back to, do you like you? Or worse, or go even deeper, do you love you? Because
Mm.
it's like you keep going back into these situations, but you don't even know yourself. You don't even love yourself fully.
Yeah. And again, you may not be whole, but you haven't allowed Jesus to fill you or to help you become that. Like you're still looking to these external factors when you should
Mm.
be looking within, you know. It's tough. It's so
And just
tough.
so people realize, we're not talking about just relationships. Some people use work as a way to fill that void.
Friendships too.
Yeah, work,
Friends,
money,
friendships.
whatever.
Oh, money,
Alcohol,
yeah. Oh yeah,
drugs.
yeah.
I mean, we could go down the list of what you can
Oh
fill that void with.
yeah. So it's still relationship with whatever your device is, and still your
Absolutely.
relationship with that. Then because you may have you said alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your relationship with alcohol. You could drink. It's okay to drink whatever, but you don't shouldn't have this addictive relationship to the alcohol to fill
Mm-hmm.
a void. So it's a line there that has to be drawn. So again, having an addictive relationship to a man or to money or to anything that all of these things are temporary. What
Mm-hmm.
about when life is over?
They ain't gonna be there.
I mean, what are we supposed to do? What about when that person is not there anymore, or the drug is not available, or you don't have money to buy it, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
What about when that's gone? Now you're gonna really tear yourself apart,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be really torturous. So I think it would be really great if anybody who's listening, if you are having those are you if you're in that kind of moment right now, to just kind of sit with yourself. It's painful. No, it doesn't feel good and it's ugly.
I
But
was telling you the other day, like you was asking me, like, what's the time frame? It ain't really a time frame, unfortunately. And I know this is kind of discouraging to hear, but it's kind of a lifelong journey.
yeah,
Like, this is something that you have to develop in yourself. And of course, the way you develop it is developing a better relationship with God and learning more about Him, His Word, and stuff like that. I
yeah.
mean, it's not going to happen overnight. It's just
And
not.
even I mean, we gotta know the word, but also just embracing a relationship with him individually. Period. To be able
Mm,
to talk with him and tell him, well, this is what I don't like about myself, and God, I want to be able to be happy. Like I want to be able to, I don't want to be sad or this is why I feel this way or, helping or asking him to help you break maybe those habits or those things that are deterring you from growing yourself, deterring you from looking at yourself. Every
mm,
time you walk past a mirror, you can't just not look at it. Eventually you're gonna have to look at it. So if I walk past that mirror 15 days in a row, never looked at it, imagine what the 16th day is gonna look like.
mm-hmm.
You know, like what do I look like today? I haven't even tried to bathe or nothing, and that's like your spirit right there, where you're
Yeah.
not even you're not even leaning towards fixing that. I mean, everybody gets in this type of cycle. It's not we're not unique right there.
Yeah.
Everybody deals with that. Where you have not been tending to, your spirit. And that's what's going to be able to I think sustain your life when you let God, I guess, heal that part of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely feel you on that one.
Yeah. I mean,
Definitely.
if you feel like it's something more of an external thing, it's still something internal that's driving you to dislike what's external. Because
Absolutely.
I was also thinking, you know, okay, I could have a horrible diet. I could eat junk food, drink, excuse me, drink soda. I need to drink this water. Hold on. I gotta eat junk food, drink soda all day, every day. But ultimately, I'm getting all the cookies and the snacks. But ultimately, the reason why would I do that? Because I'm not tending to myself. Do I love myself enough to make healthier choices because I want to sustain my life?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can do that same type of evaluation on the inside. What are you feeding yourself? What are you feeding
Absolutely.
yourself? And
Hmm.
how could you ever live off of that? Is you're
Hmm.
gonna die. The spirit man is gonna die, and the natural man is gonna die if we're not tending to our bodies like we should be. And I mean, so much easier said than done. But if you just think of it on that basic level of, if I love myself, I will feed myself the correct foods, right?
Absolutely.
And when you come to love yourself, or actually, let me tell you something. You know how, like, if I get the word, get the Bible, and start reading it will kind of like give you energy to continue to feed off of it. Like if
Hmm.
I get me some vegetables or whatever, I'm gonna make some kale today. Eventually, my body is craving that. So
Hmm.
it's like it kind of just builds on it. It craves it and it helps you to build. It's like not like you plant the seed of of a better way and go nowhere with it. It's like your body. The more you do it, the more you'll be more accustomed to doing it and wanting it. That having that desire.
Absolutely. Definitely.
I
And
mean,
just
that's
like,
what I think. I don't know.
nah, you right. Because you talk about the physical, but I mean, it's the same thing with the spiritual. Because the same way somebody can watch this podcast, or you can watch the big names like TD Jakes and Joel Osteen and all that stuff, spiritual stuff, on your phone, on your tablet, social media. But on that same tablet or phone, you could be watching people, twerking or doing
I mean,
something.
yeah, you could
Uh,
be watching feeding yourself some trash, right?
exactly, on the same device. So it's like life is a choice. You get to choose what you feel you feed your personal body and your spiritual body at the
Yeah.
same time.
And nobody's gonna like force you either way. It's up to you to decide that I
Exactly.
care about myself enough to go a different direction. Like, okay, this has not been working for years. It's not working. I care about myself to do something
More and
different.
more I live, the more and more I'm starting to realize, even in my own life with me,
Mm-hmm.
that there ain't no such thing as bad people. It doesn't
Did
exist.
I say something about a bad person?
No, I'm just saying, I'm just making a point because,
So
other
there's
people
no such
listen to
thing
this.
as a bad person.
Huh? No, there's no such thing as a bad person. God don't make nobody a bad person. He don't put you in your mother's womb and already have a will for you to be a failure. It's just that you go through life and you make bad decisions, and then your actions make you look like a bad person. It's not that you're a bad person, because God don't create failures.
So it's nothing that's wicked in some people's heart.
It is, but it was created. They wasn't made that way from God. That wasn't their original plan for them, for
Okay,
their life.
so you saying, okay, so if I just have an ill will towards a person, just hateful,
Mm-hmm.
it was created in me by the enemy, and but
Somewhere down the
but
line.
I've embraced it.
Exactly.
Just hypothetical. Am I a bad person if I embrace that way of living?
No, you just have bad thoughts and bad judgment or maybe even bad character, but the real, oh, like you said, do you like you? The better question is, what you are you talking about? Or is it the you that you have become because of what life made you to be, or the you that God made you to be? This is where you need to find out.
I think you just touched on my which you don't even know. You just touched on my books that I'm writing about. That's crazy, Tim.
Go ahead and promote that book on there.
The
Stop
books that
playing.
I'm writing about unbecoming, because the world, when we come into the world, and it's so many. We are impressionable people anyway, so we take on so many negative actions and negative thoughts, and people tell you this and people tell you that. Oh, you should do this, So we should um, unbecome what the person that the world has made us to be, the enemy. We should unbecome that. And it's a process to unravel all those things and then begin to, or firstly, be told and reminded of who God made us to be. We have to unbecome that bad person that you say doesn't exist, but that person that's in the world is not a good version of you. So we have to take those things off and put on new clothes, how God would dress us. Take those. I mean, but it's so crazy because it's so much, so many things that you don't even realize have taken root or that you have on. You don't even know.
Absolutely.
If I see somebody else displaying hate, guess what it does? It takes root in my heart the same way. I mean, it has the possibility to do that.
Exactly.
And even hardens our heart. Well, God doesn't want our heart to be hardened. What kind of love can we display with a hardened heart? So it's like, if you just get your phone, I bet you we could name 15 different things that you put on within a simple scroll. 15 different ill characteristics that, need to be taken off.
I was listening to a preacher one time. He said, all you got to do is look at a person's phone and know what their vices are.
But see, what if these aren't my vices though? What if it's just on Facebook or Instagram, or these aren't necessarily my vices, but I'm exposing myself to these things. And before you know it, I see these ads and I'm lusting after this person. Or, you just see so much. And this is not something that I typed in or looked up, It's me scrolling. And we're thinking a lot of it's innocent, it's fun and games, but it's really not though. Because if you don't pay attention, if you're not careful, then it's in you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, you're not gonna like that.
It don't happen overnight.
Now those desires are driving you.
Man, it don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It's like seed. It plants seed in you and then it grows.
Yeah. These things, like I said, you could a quick scroll and probably come up with at least 15 things that you've taken on and don't even realize it.
Absolutely.
And it takes root in you and it creates a hate for yourself. And guess what else it does? It drives a wedge between you and God. Because now you're condemned and you don't want to take that to God. Now you're ashamed. You don't want to take that to God. You feel like I got to get myself together first before I can come to God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're living in what they call condemnation. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest mistake most of us make, including me. It's like you feel like you need to have your life together before you go to God. But it's like God already accepted you way before you're a mess. And it's like he like you the way you are. And it's like you have the chance to grow as you walk with him.
And it's one thing I've been realizing is that the time, we don't have time, it's not ours to keep. And so when the enemy prolongs, steals our time with us being straight away from God, we can't even do what he purposed for us to do. We can't do anything. Like, we are stuck in the mindset of condemnation and shame and guilt and just feeling down about ourselves. And then with that said, excuse me. Sorry, 1 second. And with that said, when we're stuck in that mindset, it steals our time. It steals our time from, being able to do what God will for us to do. So
Absolutely.
that's what he want to do though. He want to cut the time short, and he want to be able to pull you away from what God designed for you to do, because
Mm-hmm.
he don't want you to impact who God made or purpose for you to impact. He doesn't want that.
Absolutely. You're right. You're right. You're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
You're right about that.
Yeah,
But I think this was a good conversation. I think people
definitely.
understood where we going. You just
And
want to get to that point where you're not scared to look at yourself in the mirror, not even just the physical mirror, but the spiritual mirror.
first.
And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this little conversation. I mean, we
Yeah,
want to do this more often.
yeah, and this is the best because we always have the best conversations and really good friends, and we don't even live in the same state, but really good friends and able to. This is what you look for in a friendship, is to be able to elevate each other, and like you said, or like I said earlier, about holding each other accountable,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can be the best that we can be, um,
Exactly.
for ourselves and for others, and definitely mainly for Christ.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like I said, this podcast name is Unadulterated. So we hope that you follow us, and we hope that you
Mm-hmm.
take a look and see what we got to say. We know we ain't the celebrities, we ain't the most
Yeah.
famous people, but they ain't the only people with a voice, and we just want to be a positive voice for everybody out there.
Yeah, not really a camera person, but still glad that glad that I could come on here, and
She's
just
lying, people. She was rambling most of this whole video.
I talk, but
You was talking a lot.
I talk, but you had to get me on the camera, so
Shy
chill.
one.
Where?
Everybody know me. I'm the shy one.
Who know
Don't play
you?
yourself.
Who lied?
I'm the shy, quiet one.
Who said that?
Everybody who know me know that.
And
They
so,
probably shocked them even. They probably shocked them even on this video.
if
But
anybody
anyway,
on here knows him, please comment.
I
Comment
don't get
and say
down like
if
that.
he's no. Comment and say if he's shy for real, because we're gonna find out today. We're gonna find out. Yeah, but this is just our truth, our point of view, our points of views, and we don't always agree. And that's the beauty in it too, that we can kind of come to more of a well-rounded perspective. Being able to lend to each other's what lives, really, because that's what it is. That's what it is. And in any friendship, that's just what I'm looking for. I'm sure that's what you look for. It don't have to be anything more than that, but to be able to help each other that way. And anyway, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see how I tried to end the video. She's still
No,
talking.
yeah, because what?
I'm just being real. And she says she don't
Might be the
talk.
first and the
I
last.
tried to end the video already, and she's still talking.
This just might be the first and last video. So.
It's up to the people. What do y'all want?
No, it is not. It's up to you who keep talking all that stuff. You're not gonna continue to insult me.
I'm just trying to show people it ain't all peaches and cream, but we love Jesus in Jesus' name.
We love Jesus, and we definitely ain't perfect, but we're gonna strive towards it. We're gonna keep working. And you're gonna quit talking about me, and we're gonna find out about you in just a minute. See,
all right,
as you're really shy.
y'all be blessed out there, and we thank y'all for, because if you this far, that means you watched the whole video, so we appreciate you for watching it today.